election campaign in Bihar is now in full steam, with just 4 days left for the first phase of polls on November 6. Frontline team is in Gaya town of Magadh region, which goes to polls on November 11. We have with us Professor Abdul Qadir, a well-known political commentator of the region. We will be asking him how this region is responding to the different political parties' campaign. Qadir Sahab, in last assembly election 2020, Mahagathbandhan has done very well in this region, Magadh region. What are the possibilities now? How do you see this election process shaping up?
Not only in the last assembly elections, historically speaking, but for a few exceptions, this region has been the stronghold of the intermediary castes, and it has also been the epicenter of the backward politics of the state. It had leaders like Jagdev Prasad, who spearheaded the movement for backward caste solidarity and upliftment. And even before that, Triveni Sangh was formed about 100 years back, in which three important intermediary castes like Yadavas, Koiris and Kurmis, now they are no longer on the same wavelength, but that was formed to establish backward solidarity, and it had gained traction in this region. So this region is somewhat different from other parts of the state, politically speaking. So far as this election is concerned, here too, I think if the elections are held in a fair manner, the Mahagathbandhan appears to have an advantage in the sense that this region has got more, so to say, aware backward castes, and they have been in solidarity as well. So I would bet on the Mahagathbandhan to do maybe not as good as it did in the last elections, but it will be doing fairly well.
So recently, there has been an incident of political violence in Mokama. Prominent Yadav, where Mr. Tejashwi Yadav was killed. Do you see his killing could have an impact on the shaping up of OBC versus forward caste narrative? Or do you think that political killing has come back to the state?
You see, as I see things, this killing is going to have much wider ramifications as far as politics and elections are concerned. And the very arrest of Anand Singh, who is known for his proximity to the powers that be, including the Chief Minister, this arrest shows somewhat panic reaction of the government, both at the center and in the state. Otherwise, I think, earlier an attempt was made to look it, to play it down, to make it appear as if it was not a murder, he died of cardiac arrest or some other things. But this arrest now shows that there is a distinct possibility of backward-forward polarization, so to say, and this is definitely going to happen in the state, and that must be a cause of worry for the India.
Qadir sir, this Magadh region is known for many infamous massacres in past in the name of caste. Can you please give us a brief sketch of the caste violence history in the region and how this impacts the politics of the area?
You see, there is a mixed interplay of caste and class. So most of the massacres that took place, they may have very ramifications along caste lines, but in fact it was also a manifestation of class conflict. And here in this region, and I think in most regions of the state, class and caste are interchangeable in the sense that the class that has been ruling, that has enjoyed power, that has been controlling the reins of power and the levers of power, it generally belongs to the upper crux, upper castes, say Brahmins, Bhumihars, Rajputs, etc. So, and the class that is the deprived class, the disadvantaged group, it mostly comprises of the backwards and the dalits. So, you cannot make a watertight compartmentalization of caste and class. Here, there is an interplay. Now coming back to the massacres, I think the most of the massacres that took place were in the name of class, but they had caste dimension as well. For example, it all began in this region, I think, with the Dalelchak Baghora massacre. Prior to that, there was Arwal incident as well. And both these incidents had caste ramifications, as caste angle, as well as in Dalelchak Baghora. I think 55 upper caste men, all of them Rajputs, they were killed or butchered or whatever you say. Then there were several other major massacres that had both caste and class angles. In fact, in Bara, 35 male adults. And one interesting thing that in all along, the ultra leftists who had been holding sway over the region for quite some time, they had been changing, they had undergone a process of churning and revised their strategy. Prior to the Dalelchak Baghora, there were indiscriminate killings in which both women and children were also targeted. After the Dalelchak Baghora, the Maoist or the extremist or the Naxals, whatever you may call them, they revised their strategy and decided not to intentionally kill any woman or child. And after that, by and large, they adhered to it. And then for the next several massacres, be it Miapur, Miapur it was, not, be it Bara or one another massacre.
Lakshmanpur baat hai.
No, Lakshmanpur. It was Senari. In both these massacres, upper caste men were killed. So, but here they made a pick and choose, that they killed only male adults. Children and women were spared. After that, the Dalelchak Baghora, that they revised their strategy and decided not to kill women and children, and they adhered to it, and they did it both in Senari and Bara massacres. And after that, they further revised their strategy. And instead of indulging in massacres, they decided to have target killings, targeting only whom they perceive to be their caste adversaries or caste enemies. And so far as this caste line is concerned, some of the massacres conducted by the Ranveer Sena and other private armies, particularly in Lakshmanpur Bathe and Miapur, they did not follow any such a strategy only to kill adults, male adults. They indulged in indiscriminate violence. And as the Maoists virtually stopped massacres and went for the target killing option, since then massacres have not taken place on a very large scale in this region.
As you are talking, we are sitting in a Muslim locality here.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of talk about Muslim voice not being represented in not only this election, but various other elections. How do you see Muslims' response to this election? This question is also important as the election comes in the background of a SIS survey, a highly controversial issue on which people had multiple voices. When you talk to your community, how do you see them responding to this electoral process? What are their expectations? What has gone wrong?
First of all, let me make a somewhat interesting point. In Bihar, as I usually generally say, that both BJP and RJD need each other for their political survival. Once the BJP fear is gone, Muslims will no longer be with the RJD as they have been. And similarly, when the RJD fear goes away, the upper caste Hindus will not remain with the BJP in the manner that they have been doing. So they both need each other. That is my perception of things. Now coming back to the Muslim issue, you see, let us understand what the Muslims expect. And unlike the popular perceptions, Muslims are not a homogeneous group. Their thinking, their style, their political thinking depends on the locality where they live. the central Bihar or South Bihar Muslim does not think the same way as the Simanchal Muslims. For Simanchal Muslims, safety is not an issue particularly, because they live in a scenario where they are in a dominant position population wise, whereas in areas where Muslims are in lesser in numbers, they have their own priorities, and this priority is basically survival first. All other things like employment and education, everything else takes a backseat when it comes to most of the people. Either it may be real or imaginary, but the survival angle is uppermost in the minds of Muslims in most parts of the state, and this is reflected in their voting behavior. They have a perception that, and I think the BJP has proved it them right in UP and elsewhere also, that BJP is outright against, it goes against their interests, and as such they have been voting for the RJD or Mahagathbandhan mostly for the negative reasons. They have been voting for the negative reasons, and survival is the first thing in their minds. Now, so far as this issue of representation and the post of deputy CM not being given to a Muslim, these issues do not concern the average Muslim. It is the interest groups who want some share in political power, who want to be MLAs, MPs, or occupy other positions. They mostly raise these voices. For the common Muslim in this region, survival and safety is the first concern.
In Simanchal, since last election, there is a new entrant, Sadruddin Owaisi. And in last assembly election, Mr. Owaisi's party won 5 seats. How do you see Mr. Owaisi's party doing this time in Simanchal? And what will be the political outcome of his performance, either way?
You see, I cannot claim to be a specialist on Simanchal. Yet, what my feeling is that the credibility of Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi has taken a severe beating during the last 5 years. When the last time he came, besides raising the Muslim issues, he also promised hospitals, educational institutions, all that he would be doing that, and he got a proper response in the sense that the new entrant to the electoral arena, it got 5 seats. But after that, the perception has gained ground that basically Mr. Owaisi Owaisi's politics in this region and at many places, it directly or indirectly, maybe directly as well, it is crafted in such a way that it suits BJP. His utterings cause polarization, and in a situation in which the population is divided along 80-20 lines, you can understand that polarization helps only the BJP. And all his actions, overseas utterances, actions, they have been so provocative that they cause polarization that suits BJP. And for that reason, there is a general perception that had any other Muslim leader uttered even 50% or 25% of the nonsense that Mr. Owaisi has been speaking, he would have been in jail. But always, when you see on TV appearances, the BJP, there is a bohoni between the panelists of the BJP and Mr. Owaisi. So there is a lot of difference what Owaisi says and what he does and what his real intentions. And the general Muslim now apprehends, rightly or wrongly, that voting for Mr. Owaisi will benefit BJP, and for that reason as well, I think his party would be doing much performance would be much lower than what had been in the 2020 elections.
Qadir sir, there has been a lot of talk about this SIR exercise. Rahul Gandhi took voter adhikar yatra. Finally, 42 lakh voters have been deleted, and the slogan "Vote Chor, Gaddi Chor" was heard in opposition meetings. Even the CPI-ML made many petitions citing specific cases where a voter who is alive has been declared dead. How do you see this SIR issue playing out in this election, and have voters really been deprived of their right of franchise?
You see, this whole SIR exercise, uh, uh, it has been a hoax in the sense that though theoretically it may look very nice, but what they have done in the field is they have really made mess of things. It was said that those who are dead, their names will be deleted. Those who have names at one or more places, their names will be deleted and kept only at one place. These two issues are I personally know of people who died 30 years back. 30 years ago, a person in this locality itself, he was killed in a road accident in Saudi Arabia. It is a well documented. His death in accident is a well documented fact. Yet, even after revision, after objections as well, I raised this issue particularly in the columns as well. Still, I find that name. The person who died 30 years back, and you are saying that we are going to delete those who are dead or who are not here. And as I guess that, I know people who continue to be listed at more than one places. So what they have done? They began on the premise that they will be deleting people who are no longer here, who are not living here, who are dead now. But what they have done, and this is not, I think, the solid single example. There must be, so it is just an example here, but such cases must be there in every constituency, each of the 243 constituencies. So what they have done? We have example that people are still voters for more than one places. There are people who died long, who are still in the voter list. People who are living, who are surviving, they have been declared dead. So, but it's so far as its impact on the elections is concerned, I think it no impact in constituencies where the contest is close. So, besides deletions, there have been taken place additions as well. And amnesty is the most serious charge against the election commission, which holds good that it has never been transparent. So, who the voters are? They actually voters, or they are just their votes will be counted in the EVMs. They may not be actually exercising their franchise. And about EVMs, even the advanced countries, that they do not rely on that. That is an established fact. So, in constituencies where the margin is low, these additions and deletions may have an impact. But we are not we don't know the details, and as such, it is difficult to say what impact will be which particular community. But overall, it will be having an impact. And so far as the somewhat indifference of the people is concerned, I attribute to our collective sense of selfishness. Since most of the voters, or more than 90% of voters, find their names in the electoral list, so they are no longer bothered. Our name is there, and those whose name have been deleted, most of them are so underprivileged, so disadvantaged that they have no voice also. You just imagine that a man who is living 70 kilometers from the district headquarters, who earns rupees 300 or 400 per day, will he come to Gaya town or any district headquarters to get the corrections? He will lose at least 2 days' wages. He does not have enough money to meet the transportation cost. He will have to stay here. He does not know how to fill the forms. So for that also, he may have to pay to somebody who can fill the form on his behalf. So this is since those who are better off, those who are somewhat privileged, their names are there. So that is, it is not being reflected that way, but it has affected the marginalized groups.
Do you see the entry of CPIML in Mahagathbandhan in a big measure contesting one more seat than they had contested last time? Is it going to make any difference? Is it helping Mahagathbandhan?
It helped Mahagathbandhan to a very great extent in 2020, and I'm sure that if the left parties, particularly the CPI-ML, got more seats, more constituencies to concern, their performance would be still better. You see, CPI-ML is a political party. True, it cannot win many seats on its own, but it has got a tremendous incremental value. It has committed voters in every constituency who on their own cannot make the candidates win. But when it is added to a voting block, it makes all the difference. So CPI-ML has followers in every constituency, and it is going to make a lot of difference. I wish they got more seats to contest, and it is a more disciplined party as compared to other parties of the Mahagathbandhan.
Personally, watching the politics of Bihar for such a long time, how do you see the overall scenario emerging in this state? Which side has an advantage? Which side can form government this time? Do you see a perceptible change? Do you see some kind of yearning for a change?
When we analyze things in Bihar, we generally overlook the role of the Election Commission. I think, I may be wrong, that if fair elections are held in Bihar, the Mahagathbandhan or Grand Alliance or India, whatever you call, it appears to have an advantage in the sense that Tejashwi Yadav, after so many years, it was the BJP who used to begin the narrative or initiate the narrative. But for the first time in many years, it is Tejashwi who has set the election narrative, and to a very great extent, he has blunted the well-crafted BJP narration that veered around Ghuspaitiye and all other things that cause polarization. But now people are discussing whether providing so many jobs is possible or not. They are not discussing how many infiltrators are here now. The focus has shifted, and this goes to NDA advantage also on account of the fact that Tejashwi's performance during his brief stint as Deputy Chief Minister on the employment issue is regarded as somewhat better to his predecessors or rivals. So, personally, with a caveat that, and as you know, Election Commission officials and those who conduct polls, they have a very crucial role also to play, particularly in seats where the margin is not very high. There is always the possibility of manipulation or favor. So, that is a real apprehension this time also. But if the elections are fair, I have a feeling that the Mahagathbandhan has an advantage. But still, it can't be said with that much of certainty.
So, did you clearly say that on the job front, Tejaswi's performance could be advantage India? India, you said?
Yeah. Mahagathbandhan, yeah. Anyway, he has in fact is that he has set the narrative and given the PR record of BJP, their social media and the way they set the agenda. This is a credible achievement that it is now even NDA is all set to play on Tejashwi's pitch. He has led the pitch, and as in cricket, pitch makes all of the difference.
Thank you, Qadir Sahab, for your very perceptive comments on the politics of Magad and the politics of Bihar.
Thank you.